Hey there, YouTube land. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm coming to you from East Potomac's Blue Course. There is so much history with this course. It's been around for, I think, a little over 100 years. I think I read somewhere that President Harding back in the 20s was the first or one of the first people to play this. Anyway, enough of the history lesson. I'm sure you can Google and find that yourself, but let's get back to the round for a moment. And you'll notice some pretty crappy camera angles for today. This is the first time I was able to film with 3 randoms, and so the positioning of my tripod and camera wasn't the best. I was trying to be courteous and not distract the other golfers. That's my biggest fear, is that trying to tape or vlog would distract people. But shout out to Dan, Ron, and Mac. You 3 were the coolest people I've ever met. Like, did we just become best friends? Did we? Are we all gonna do karate in the garage? I'm down. I'm definitely in. But in the off chance you 3 are watching this, was a pleasure to play. Slide into my DMs, would love to hang out, play another round. And typically I do play from the blue tees, which are the tips. Yes, I use the word tips purposely just to make myself sound like a big baller, Mr. Big Time over here. But the 3 of them decided to play whites, and so I scooted up just not to ruin the vibes. And again, absolute pleasure playing with this 3. But let's get back to the golf for a second, and I just drained my first birdie putt, so whenever I'm doing well, obviously I want to talk about myself, so let's switch it back over. And if you haven't noticed by now, and you'll see it coming up, this plays as a very open, linksy style type course. For anyone who's watching this and you've played East Potomac, notice some of the changes. For example, that tree on the right, there used to be a big branch sticking out that you'd have to kind of force your tee shot on the left or play a fade. They're starting to remove a lot of the tall grass, bushes, a lot of trees and a lot of branches have also been removed. And side note, look at that Texas wedge. But you can tell they're trying to make this a little more friendly for all types of golfers, and naturally you can score very, very well, which is why it's an easier slope and rating in my opinion. And on a random note, last hole, this hole, and the next hole, it's a par 4, par 5, par 4. You can almost consider it Eagle Alley if you're a long hitter. It's a long hitter's dream. So Tom Flynn, or more importantly Max, if you're watching, it's probably eagle, eagle, eagle for you, where I believe it plays around 300 yards. This par 5, which, oops, I just birdied, no big deal, is under 500 yards. And then this hole right here plays 290-ish. And keep in mind, I'm also playing from the white, so I scooted up. Some people might be able to use a 3-wood and even get on. But it's a really fun stretch of holes that allows you to score extremely well. And again, being a long hitter, you're probably licking your chops at this. But one thing you'll notice, I've made a few putts luckily, but the putting greens, it's probably the course's defense. There's not a lot of bunkers, not a lot of trees, especially as they're making it easy, but some of the greens and some of the pin placements are just absolutely ridiculous. That last hole, if I took the camera angle from a different view, it would have shown that it was probably the straightest putt. All 3 of my playing mates told me it was a straight putt, and it had a snap hook to the right and was downhill. So I don't know if it's just me, or hopefully it's not the 4 of us just misreading greens, but some of these are really, really tricky. But let's get back to the golf for a second. I'm sneakily 1 under through 8. I'm playing very well, very happy, and if I can hit this birdie putt, I'm actually tying a PR for a 9-hole stretch and just miss it. But no big deal. We have a really short hole 10 at the turn, and for Pat Flynn, if you're watching this, don't think I forgot about you pegging me in the thigh from the tee box. Side note for the viewers, I have a buddy who used a 3-wood, get that. He used a 3-wood, drove the green, and he hit me in the thigh. But obviously I ate it up because, look at me, I'm 185 pounds of pure mass, pure man, pure beast. Or maybe it's because I'm 26% body fat and he probably pegged me in a fat part of my thigh, so no big deal, I ate it up. But you definitely owe me a stroke, Pat, next time we play. On to the next hole, hole 11. It's a par 3, and I decided to Texas wedge it from the rough. I kind of got peer pressured from the group because a lot of them were Texas wedging, and I don't regret it, but I got to clean that putt up. The dream is over. I was feeling high. We're not under par anymore, but it's okay. There's a lot of scoreable holes. This one in particular, super, super short par 5. For some reason, we were scooted up, and I think it was playing like 440. of a par 5. Even from the whites, that's really short. So I have a really bad tee shot, pretty good punch shot back on, and you can see the chip there. I left the tracer off on purpose because you can see my ball just bump and run perfectly. But I missed this 9-10 footer for birdie. Have a little tester comebacker that I make, so luckily we hold par. And here's another tee shot that it's a gorgeous view from the tee box, as you can see. But another example is there used to be a lot more trees, a lot more branches, and they shaved those down, so it's a little more open of a box. But this hole and the next hole, they're both par 4s. It's just funny to me how this one is a super short par 4. I think it's less than 350. And then you go to this one. This plays like a monster. I think the card says it's 400-ish, but the guy who had his watch on said the pin was playing 425. So think of that for a second. We had a par 5 2 holes ago that was playing 440, and now we have a 425 par 4. Just makes no sense. It forces me to use a 3 hybrid, which is my longest club that's not a 3-wood, because as for everyone who knows, have seen other videos, I absolutely despise my 3-wood. Speaking of, 3-wood for sale. It's a TaylorMade Sim Max, $1 or better offer. Hell, I'll pay a viewer. I'll give it to you for free. I'll pay you to take it. Just get it out of my bag. But anyway, end up with a bad bogey on that long par 4, but it's okay. This is a shorter par 3. It was playing about 155, 160. I stick it to pin high, but not an easy putt. I think that was at least a 30-footer.
There you go. Drive for show towards the monument. Soccer.
And I decided to stop commentary for a moment just to let you hear the voice of Dan, aka my personal hype man all day. Dan, if you're watching this, I love you, buddy. You were the best. You helped me to a good and pretty close to a PR for today. So shout out to Dan. Hopefully we run into each other again. Would love to play with you. And if you saw a second ago, I had a Texas wedge on, misjudged it, and I left it a little long, missed the cleanup, and so we have another bogey. Are the wheels starting to come off the wagon? Are they? There's whispers. People are asking. And the answer is absolutely. I hit a tee shot, fade it right, take a drop. Now we're hitting shot 3. Take my 3-wood. Oh, shocker. The one club I effing hate. I decide to use it like an imbecile. And so fade that out of bounds, take a drop. I am now hitting shot 5 into a short par 5 where I should be able to reach in 2 with the wind helping us. Now we're hitting shot 6. We go for the Texas wedge yet again. Your boy is just spiraling. Not a good look. And this just shows, by the way, how hard golf is. I think I played a pretty damn good round or close to perfect for almost 15, 16 holes. Yes, we had a couple shots and missed putt, but all it takes is one blow-up hole like that. I end up tripling hole 17. Not a good look for your boy, but it just shows that you can play pretty perfect, and it just takes one bad hole, and trying to break par is pretty much over. It erases all the work you've done, and I think I just spiral over into this where I hit a good tee shot, but I misjudged that approach with about 100-ish yards. Texas wedge it again, and lo and behold, we have a tester for par. And we miss it. We missed the cleanup. So we end with a plus 678. You'll notice that the differential is much higher than my 6 handicap. Just shows how quote-unquote easy this course plays. But let me know what you think about the video and how you like this format of all-in-one, a little quicker, open to suggestions. But thanks for tuning in.